You're listening to the Andy Snowden Stage and Screen Radio Show, broadcasting around the world and in Rosa Medre.
Giggity giggity, giggity goo. Stick around.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. 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 I'm going downtown tonight. What's going on?
So, what is going on in and around town? I hear you, Chunder. What can I go and see this week with my gal? Well, first out of the traps today, we have got this really interesting story. It comes from an actor called Theo, and he's an actor who formerly was part of the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child in London in the West End, an absolute mammoth production that is. But these days, he's turned his hand to a one-man show, all on his tiddles. It's called the Shy Manifesto. It's a big tour all the way around the country. And this week, on Monday and Tuesday only, you can go see it at Theatre Clwyd. It's called the Shy Manifesto. And it's a cracking little tale. It's an odd one. So I'm just going to let him tell you all about it. I caught up with Theo yesterday. And here he is, Theo Ancient, talking about the Shy Manifesto on the Stage and Screen Show, Calon FM.
The Shy Manifesto. It sounds intriguing. What's it all about?
So the Shy Manifesto takes shyness at the heart of it, and it's a monologue play. It focuses on the character of Callum, who's 17 years old, and he's exploring what it's like to be shy. So he's thinking about, and he invites the audience to think about how we react to shy people and how people have reacted to his shyness and how he responds to the world around him as a shy person. So it really explores shyness at the heart of the play. I'd say it's a journey of self-acceptance as Callum explores all of the different ways in which people have treated him for being shy, all of the different experiences he's had as an introverted shy person whilst growing up, and trying to come to some kind of conclusion at the end, whether he can be proud of his shyness, whether he can go against the societal norm of shyness being a weakness, and whether he can take ownership of his introversion and come to a conclusion of self-acceptance and accepting myself for just the way I am and not having to pretend to be anything other than who I really am. That's the heart of the play.
Right. I mean, it sounds like does it deal with mental health issues? I mean, the mental health issues are very high on everyone's agenda these days. I was just wondering, is it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, all sorts of things come with shyness. And Callum explores these feelings of isolation, feelings of self-loathing, what it's like to be sitting at home in your bedroom at the weekend whilst all of your classmates are out drinking and socialising, and the loneliness that can come with being a shy person.
Right.
And I think towards the end of the play, Callum goes on a story. I guess the general story of Callum is, and I try not to reveal too much, but he's surprised when one day he's invited to a party from someone at school, and he goes along, and that's when things start to really shift for him. And I won't reveal too much because it's a big plot point.
Yeah.
But that really makes him start to wonder again about his shyness, whether he needs to come out of his shell like everyone is telling him to do, or whether he can just be comfortable just being the way he is. And I think the audience will leave really thinking about Callum's mental health as he comes to the end of his journey, questioning whether, can he live a healthy, happy, sustained and fulfilled life as a shy, introverted person, or is he eventually going to have to find some kind of confidence and extroversion in order to achieve what he wants to in life?
Yeah.
It really does raise that question.
Yeah, sounds fun. It sounds intriguing, actually, as a piece. I mean, to be honest with you, the older I get, the more I realise that everybody, whether you're a confident person or a reserved kind of person, everybody has lived through the same sort of emotions at some point, whether it be, falling in love with somebody who's completely out your league, or being picked last for PE, or all these things that everybody goes through.
I think everyone has felt shy at one point as well. You know, I think everyone's been at a party or in a social situation and they don't really know what to say or how to engage with people. But it's something we don't really talk about.
No.
I think that's what's really great about the show is that we... I mean, Callum is a character who would usually sit at the back of class and not really say anything. But our writer, Michael Ross, has given him a voice. And he said, well, what would a person like this say? If they were given the opportunity, what would they say? And how would they address a room full of people if they were put in that situation? So it's a really intriguing one. I think it's really interesting for our audiences to think about shyness in a different way.
Yeah.
But then again, it's kind of embedded into our society of, you know, if we don't engage in group activities at school. I remember when I was at school, teachers would comment to my parents about how I would kind of take myself away from group activities, and I'd much prefer to be alone in a corner reading a book. And that they were concerned about me because of that behaviour. And I think what the play does is it poses a question suggesting, well, do we need to be so concerned about children who are maybe less likely to join into group activities? Is there really a problem there, or is it just simply the nature of their being?
Yeah. Well, you just saying that there. I mean, I love my own company. I'm really happy on my own. But I always have been, you know. And I think you're right. If for a kid or, you know, a young person, a teenager or whatever, if they were happy in their own skin and they were just happy being on their own, people would go, he's a bit of a loner. Oh, he's a bit of a woody. Wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, and it sounds as well. I mean, it's sort of thing. I don't know if you do it. Up to sort of do workshops or you know, for schools and things. Is that something you do? Is that something you consider?
Yeah. So that's a part of our. So because Callum is 17 and the play does explore a lot of pressures that are put onto young people, especially at school. And there's a whole section about social media as well. So when I read the play, I mean, it was first handed to me a couple of years ago whilst it was still in development. And I immediately thought that it really reached out to young people and a younger audience. And I felt like as an actor touring this piece, it would be really important to engage with the young people in the communities that I'll be travelling to. So I also work as a drama facilitator and run workshops. And that's what I've been doing alongside the show. So I'll be going to the regions and getting together with groups of young people from universities or youth groups, sometimes working with children at risk, and exploring the themes of the play and exploring some of the rehearsal processes that we went through to create the characters in the piece. It's something I'll be doing at Clwyd actually, with the young company there, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, fantastic. And also as well, it's a one-man show, as you've mentioned. Is that an enjoyable thing to do, or does it present like difficult challenges?
Yeah, there are definitely some challenges. Every time I come to do it, it is the most terrifying thing.
Is it still? Yeah.
Because I'm used to working with other actors and bouncing off of other actors, and it becomes like a shared company feeling when you're doing a show with other actors. And this is just about me and the audience. Which is wonderful because it means that every place that I go to, I'll have a very different response depending on who's turned up and depending on the demographic of the audience. And it's wonderful because it means that my performance changes every night, because every night is kind of, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I don't know how people will respond to it. And they become very much a kind of sounding board for me to bounce off of. So it's been a really interesting journey for me to develop that relationship with an audience where there is no fourth wall. It's me directly talking to the audience and bringing them into the story and engaging them in a very direct way, which so far in my career I haven't had the opportunity to do, but it has been fascinating. Really, really wonderful to go through that journey, but also terrifying.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, and for you as well, it must be, I mean, on a professional level, it must be like a superb showcase for your. I mean, just to hold an audience for what is it, like an hour and a half or something, an hour? Yeah,
it's an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, and it's just me holding that audience. Yeah, it's a real challenge. I mean, the last job I did before this was Harry Potter on the West End.
Wow.
I had one of the principal parts in that, so I was kind of leading this massive West End show to thousands of people every night, and now I'm performing something that's a lot more intimate. And to go from like one extreme to the other has been such a learning curve for me as an actor, and a really wonderful one. I think it's really important to bring high quality theatre out into the region.
Well, we really look forward to you coming up to Theatre Clwyd next week.
I really look forward to be there. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, thanks ever so much for your time this afternoon, buddy. I'll let you run off because you got a show tonight, have you?
Got a show tonight, yeah. We're in Birmingham at the moment.
All right, smashing.
Yeah.
Lovely. You take care of yourself, mate.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, cheers.
Bye.
So there you go, that is Theo Ancient with the Shy Manifesto coming to Theatre Clwyd on Monday and Tuesday of this week. If you want to try and get yourself tickets to go and see this remarkable bit of work, box office number 01352 701 521. That's 01352 701 521, the Shy Manifesto, Theatre Clwyd.